Hey people, it is Thursday, June 19th. The time is 7:49 in the evening, and it's about 19 degrees Celsius and extremely windy today here in the city. And it looks like it is threatening rain as well, with some rather dark-looking, fast-moving clouds moving overhead. And I do feel a very tiny little bit of rain coming down at this very moment, actually. Hopefully it won't develop into a proper rainfall, because I'm just about to take a walk up Bathurst Street here, starting in front of Bathurst Station, just north of Bloor. I thought I'd walk up this part of Bathurst, which I don't often walk along. It is fairly interesting and a bit overlooked. And the rain is coming down a bit harder now. Let's hope this blows over. See, there are a number of old retail stores along this part of Bathurst. A bit of a gritty look, admittedly. And definitely not as popular as Bloor Street just to the south, which is where the Annex neighborhood is, and Koreatown. And I think those clouds are moving so quickly that this rain should hopefully pass over. Looks like a burrito place is opening there, Burro Burrito. And this part of Bathurst up ahead is also where a number of businesses are opposed to the proposed busway that will maybe run along Bathurst Street, eliminating parking in front of the businesses. Many of the shops and restaurants along here have signage in their windows stating their opposition to the proposed busway. This is a very busy bus route as it is. There's the 7 Bathurst. And this is interesting. I never noticed until now that this building was so substantial, but it's literally being demolished at this very moment. Looks kind of cool in its present state. I'll have to go back in time on Street View to see what it looked like before it started demolition. I know I've seen it before, but I guess it didn't really stand out to me. But it certainly does now. Won't be long before that's completely demolished. It says development coming soon. And I see a development notice across the street for what looks like a residential mid-rise, so something of similar size, I think, will replace this building. Or maybe taller, actually. The wind is just whipping in every direction all at once today. Every which way all at once. This side of the street has mostly old houses, semi-detached and row houses, and the retail seems to be concentrated across the street. As I mentioned, definitely a gritty look to this stretch. I like it though. I'm a fan of urban grit. But it's not abandoned grit, it's mostly fully occupied. When it's abandoned, it's not really grit, it's more like blight. And blight is never a good thing in an urban environment. Grit can be a good thing in certain circumstances, at least visually. I find Old Toronto overall is pretty gritty looking. It does have its new shiny areas, of course, in the heart of downtown. New developments popping up all around the old city, but it still has tons of stuff like this. There's Olive Avenue, this tree-lined street. I think Jordan Peterson lived on that street. Here's a new addition. I think it looks okay. I think the use of brick, even if it's fake brick, it certainly helps it blend into the neighborhood. Some housing stock here. Here's the Summerhill Market. I think this is the business that has spearheaded this anti-busway sentiment in the area. Sort of a bougie little supermarket. A lot of the signage in the windows are saying like we might be forced to close and things of that nature, which is pure hyperbole. I don't think it'll come to that, even if the busway does go through. There's plenty of parking nearby, including the Summerhill Market, which has its own dedicated parking lot. And most of the people who frequent these businesses don't even come here by car anyway. They actually use transit, or they walk, or they cycle. So all in all, it's a bit of a nothing burger. All this opposition to the busway. The reasons are a nothing burger, at least. Alright, the rain seems to have stopped, thankfully. Didn't really amount to much. And now we have some retail on both sides of the street here as we get closer to Dupont. Plenty of traffic here though. Here's one of the signs here. That one didn't say we might be forced to close, but it's still basically saying they more or less oppose the new busway.
Yeah, no, I love it.
And the social across the street. Yep. If the Rapid TO project does go through, and these businesses actually experience an increase, in their revenue, I wonder if they'll fess up and say they were wrong, or if they'll just stifle up and act like they never opposed it in the first place. Sorry. All right, we're at Dupont. There's the Vesta lunch. Since 1955, open 24 hours. So we're heading east along Dupont Street now. Bathurst, of course, keeps on going and going north. Eventually going outside of the city proper into suburbia. We got the annex just to the south. We're kind of walking along the northern boundary of the annex here. One of a number of new, rather upmarket condominiums that have popped up along Dupont. Most of them are in the mid-rise height range. Oh, there's lots of construction junk lying around. Even when there's no sign of ongoing construction, it just still lies around for weeks, if not months afterwards. You can see that this intersection was just completely redone now. It's all fresh new pavement. It looks like it's finished. I think they can take away all these ugly construction cones, barriers, whatever they're called. Chadwick's on that corner.
He's been there like maybe.
Brunswick Avenue. And this is a very fancy looking new building. See how the wind is just whipping the trees like crazy right now. More construction pylons here. That was the word I was trying to come up with earlier. No doubt those units are going for millions. Or renting for $3,000 for a one-bedroom. If not more. I'd say more in that building actually. We're approaching Spadina. North of Bloor, it's called Spadina Road, not Spadina Avenue. Dupont subway station on opposite corners. CN Tower off in the distance. And you can see Casa Loma up that way. Continue east. There's Madison Avenue. See by the street banners here, this area is called Dupont by the Castle. So I guess you can catch glimpses of Casa Loma. Not so much from here though, from back where we were. Or actually you can sort of see it from here. I think you can just see the very tippy top here. Kind of above the trees. Barely, you can barely see it from here. Casa Dental really milking the association with Casa Loma. St. George Street. This will take you down through the heart of the University of Toronto campus. It's lined with high-rise apartment buildings. Being so close to campus, a lot of students live in those buildings, and also a fair number of senior citizens in some of the other buildings. Place to get your dog or cat groomed.
So did I.
And Dupont continues, where it eventually meets up with Avenue Road, but we'll go down Davenport here. Get some awesome views of the Bloor-Yorkville skyline. They're really shoehorning in some new residential buildings here. Tiny space between these two buildings. Some more upscale new additions. The traffic is nuts on Davenport through here, though. At least there is a protected bike lane. Another very upscale new residential building. They are keeping them mid-rise, at least from what we've seen so far. And one of these lovely pylons. There's the one towering over the Bloor-Yorkville area. That building is visible from all over the city now. Just recently surpassed the 300-meter mark in height, making it taller than First Canadian Place, which was the tallest building in the city for 50 years. Say this bike lane is pretty solid looking. There's a taller new addition to the area. We get another look at the CN Tower. All right, let's cross to the other side. The wind is just going nuts right now. That guy thinks he's at the Indianapolis 500 or something. Yeah, this is definitely one of the streets to come to if you want to see horrible driving. I just wanted to cross the street because you get the better look at the towers at Bloor-Yorkville from this side. Yeah, we're just about at Avenue Road. I think I have another idea for another video. So maybe I will wrap things up here just before we get to Avenue Road. So I hope you enjoyed the walk. Starting at Bathurst Station, we went north up Bathurst. Talked a little bit about the Rapid TO project, the opposition to the new busway there, and then made our way along Dupont and then on to Davenport. And we got rained on a little, but it stopped, so it all worked out. The wind still blows though, but I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos, and hit the notification bell. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under K Continuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.